We know our brother is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one time when I was living in Arizona. He, let's just say he had a meat guy. Right? And we could just go to the local Fry's and, pick up some ground beef or some little steaks or something, right?
All right.
But no, it's too expensive. We gotta drive literally over 30 miles to go to his meat guy, which by the way was just a freaking room that you would walk in, like a walk-in room, walk-in freezer, literally in the middle of the desert. It was Arizona, so it was literally in the middle of a desert. Go in there and get your meat and pay for it and leave, just to save like a couple bucks. You like that?
Dude, our older brother is one of the stingiest people
known to man.
Known to man. He's well off.
Oh, yeah.
But he's so stingy that you might as well, I don't know, man, slap a top hat in him. Call him Scrooge. I don't know, man. He sucks.
Yeah, I like Scrooge.
Scrooge is a cool guy, damn it.
You
swear.
I don't understand the drive to drive literally over 30 miles.
You waste more money on gas.
Yes, on gas than just save a couple bucks on meat. Which, by the way, we're just giving to him in bags, as in like plastic bags.
Did you see the meat cut in front of you?
No.
That's disturbing.
It was just pre-cut.
He was probably eating human flesh and he didn't even know it.
Yeah, and it was one of the places that he would go and fix up, so they probably gave him a discount, I bet.
Nevertheless.
Yeah, it was a thing. My favorite part was when we needed a new chitter, because we shit and break the porcelain nightly. And, he called up my mom. Now, look, am I wrong to assume that if someone calls you and goes, hey, you want to go somewhere, that they are going to be, at the very least, helping out with the bill?
Hold up. You got to set up the stage here because, one, mom is not in an economic, easy road, okay? She's a working woman, strapped for cash. Our older brother,
rich ass moaf,
is very well off. He's in the HVAC plumbing industry.
Yes.
So presumably he would have the means the contacts to get a good deal. She asks him for help. He at first doesn't respond, but eventually he does, and he says, "Let's go get this."
Yeah.
The implication is obvious,
right?
I'm gonna help you because I got the hookups, I got the link, I got the money, and I know
it's like
I know that you don't have the money.
Yeah.
Why else would you do that?
It's like if I called you up and was like, "Hey, you want to go eat somewhere?" I wouldn't expect you to pay. I invited. You're gonna freaking
yes.
I'm gonna pay.
Yes. On top of that, he is the eldest. He is well off. He knows his mother's not. And she was in need. All that just itself implies I'm going to help out. Especially if I'm the one inciting it.
Yeah.
So they go, and of course, he picks out something. What was it?
It was like a used toilet.
So, already, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, it was like...
Hey, instead of a new toilet, let's get this used one.
Yeah. For like a $10 off, yeah.
Save a fucking cent.
And, they take it up to the register, they ring it out, and he turns to her, apparently, and goes, "So how are you going to pay?" And she's just like, "Well, I guess with card."
That last minute switcheroo there. Yep.
The entire time she was under the impression that he was at least going to help. She lets her go up all the way over there, scan it. There's no turning back at this point. And then drops the bombshell. How are you going to pay for it?
I would have I'm surprised. Well, I'm not. Mom has a big mouth, but sometimes not towards us.
Yeah.
I would have been like, what? Fuck it, man. I don't give a shit. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Wasting my day.
You're the one that brought me up here. You damn well know I don't have money, and you're the one saying all this shit. You're the one in the know. The whole picture points to you, at the very least, getting 50% of this shit, or all of it, because you know I don't have it. Fuck this. Put that shit back yourself. I'm waiting in the damn car.
We're
Fuck
out.
your noise.
Yeah.
Anyway, she didn't do that. She bought the damn toilet.
The damn toilet. We still have it.
And, essentially got screwed.
Yep.
Does this all the time. And he also makes... look, he's a trained professional.
Yeah.
I recently had an issue with my electric. He happens to have his hands in that. Tried to make a call. And he's like, oh, just do this. Oh, yeah, well, let me take out my electrician's experience. Fucking, coil in my brain. Tap into it. And let me get that done real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's right. I know nothing about this. You saying just do this is not exactly conducive to me doing it. So I try to get him to explain it. Well, exactly what do you mean? And his explanations are ass because they continue to be, oh, well, just do this. What is that? What is this? I don't understand what the this is. That's what I'm asking. Can you break this down a little? So anyway, he finally, after 70 gillion years of asking, he finally divulges some minor details. And I find out I have to go up somewhere, turn off something, and then fiddle around with some fucking wires that may, quote, shock you to death or not. End quote. And I'm like, well, how do I ensure that I don't die? And he's like, oh, well, if you don't die, you don't die. Thanks, assweed. So I go up there prepared to fucking,
Croak?
Yeah, well, really prepared to fly about 50 feet through the air after I'm repelled by electricity, pure. And thankfully it doesn't happen. I tested it by throwing stuff on it first.
That's always the great way.
Which is the best way.
Yeah.
And then eventually I just...
Could have poked it with a fork.
I did a poke. Admittedly. And, if there was actual electricity running through it, I would have died anyway. But the point is I didn't die. And then it did nothing. His instructions did nothing. Long story short, at the end of the day, the first thing I asked him was what I should have done. And he goes, well, have you checked the breaker box? And I said, yes. That's why I asked you, do I need to completely reboot the breakers from here to here? And he's like, yeah. I said, I didn't say anything at that point. I said, I'm going to go try it. It's the first thing I asked him. Did it. Worked. I was like, son of a bitch. I just spent like 7 hours on some bullshit non-instructions when the first thing I asked him, and that he could have just said, yes, do that too, but was being elusive as shit to be an assweed, that could have solved the problem.
Yep. It's him in a nutshell.
He's a weird cat, man.
Yeah.
He's 10 years older than me, so about 20 years older than you. And when I was a kid, he was just one of those guys that he would let you in at times.
Yeah.
Like into his inner world.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
But then he would repel you away from it.
Yep.
At the next moment.
He never changed.
Which
He's still that way.
Yeah, which only causes you to go, what? What the fuck?
Exactly.
And I went through my stage, as I think most young brothers do, where you try to impress your older brother.
Yeah.
Or do things
Doing
that...
backflips and shit?
Yeah, do something that pleases them. And that's how I found out he went through stages galore. You know what I'm saying? That's when I found out. In fact, I found out pretty young that it's just best to be myself because of him. So I have to thank him for that. It's just best to be yourself because he just kept on flip-flopping like a fish. And I'm like, okay, dude, I just went and did this in a weak, feeble-minded attempt to please you. And all of a sudden, you're not into this. And, so I learned to be my individual self that way. So I can at least thank him for that much. But, he's just such a fickle person with people. And I don't know what to make of him. To this day, I don't know what to make of him. In fact, I recently talked to my niece, and she asked me something where I ended up having to tell her that I don't talk to him. The last thing I said to him was that stupid electricity shit, and that was out of sheer necessity. But I told her, because she asked, I was like, oh, we've never really gotten along, me and your dad. Way I see it, he's just kind of going through this like eternal
midlife crisis.
Yeah, I was
especially recently.
Yeah, it's amped up to incredible levels recently. left his wife, now has like a girlfriend.
And apparently
and
is sleeping around.
Sleeping around, wearing man thongs.
Well, that's been around for a while. Yeah.
The point is, he's a conundrum that I don't really want to solve, honestly. I have to eventually because he's embroiled in the future intricacies of our potential life.
Yeah.
So it's just how do you deal with people like this? I don't understand what the fuck.
It's a weird thing where it's like, obviously we don't hate the dude,
right?
But he's very hard to get along with.
Incredibly hard to get along with.
And then you know, I've tried. He'll be here and I'll ask him something that I know he's interested in, and he'll just be like a cold piece of shit, and you're like, dude, why you gotta be a dick?
Yeah.
A big old dick in a man thong reptile print.
Dude, that man thong situation.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good at all.
It was in my hamper.
Like it just groaned.
Remember that time where he took you to the Walmart to get you a CD? You were like, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is the situation. Again, I was a youngster. I was a big Garth Brooks fan back in the day.
GB, he likes that.
He used to be into country music. In fact, that's why I got into country music. Anyway, big Garth Brooks fan. As a youngster, his new album came out. He's like, let's go get it. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go get it. Mind you, I already graduated from fucking tapes to CDs long ago at this point in my life.
Yeah.
And he just, he's like, well, go ahead and get it. I go and get that CD. And he's like, why don't you get that tape instead? I'm like, I don't even have a tape player.
I'm going to get the Betamax also? Or what the shit?
I was like, I don't even have a fucking tape player. And he's like, yeah, but it's cheaper. What does that mean? He says, well, we can listen to it on the way home. And I'm like, that's the only time I will listen to it. And it's not, a car I'm in all the time. So he's like, well, I'm going to get it. So he got it. And I guess he kept it.
Yep.
The fuck is that shit, man?
I mean, I guess it's better than insisting on getting a single instead of an entire album.
Yeah, there was another time when I was going to go get a Dwight Yoakam CD, and, it's Dwight Yoakam. You're guaranteed to get a great album.
Quality.
And so I go get the album, and he's like, why don't you just get the single? Because I want the album. What do you mean? I've heard the single. I want the album. And he's like, yeah, but the single's cheaper. First of all, the single was like $4.99, $3.99. That's like a third or half the price of an album.
One song.
For one fucking song, maybe two if it has like a B-side quality to it. Come on, man. So I just didn't get shit because what the fuck? Well, why would I want a single that I have to listen to one song or two to and then take out?
Yeah.
Fucking licks, man. Cheap. And then when he'll do something generous and you're like, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
And then you'll lord it over your head. And you're like, well, that's where that came from.
I never really did that with me.
I did it with me. It stunk.
Yeah. But it was one of those things whenever he would do something, you'd be like, why?
What's the purpose?
Yeah. I had a black friend in Arizona and he hated him.
Your black friend hated
no,
our brother, or our brother hated?
Our brother hated him.
I could see that.
Yeah.
For that reason? Because he was black?
I mean, there was some slurs thrown, so maybe.
Yeah, it sounds very much like him.
Yeah. He's not a great guy.
He's pretty much one of the... I don't want to say the worst, because I've definitely met worse. He's just one of those people that
can be cool, is the thing.
Yeah, that's really what
when
fucking...
he's just freaking relaxed and is just himself. Like, I told you about this point where, like, he's anti-horror, but there was this one day when I was over there where the family was out, and it was just me and him, and he's like, hey, let's rent some movies, and he, like, got a bunch of horror movies, and we just kind of hung out, and I had never seen him like that.
Yeah.
And it was like that moment where I was like, is this like the real him? And he's just putting up a face the whole time. Moments like that, he's like, he's a cool guy and he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, whew.
He's a tremendous cock is the problem.
Yeah.
And he has no problem being a cock. That's the real issue.
Yeah.
And he has no problem throwing you under the bus to be a cock. That is a big issue with me. That's really why we had a falling out, he and I. Because he has no problem being a cock at your expense. Like, what the fuck is the point of that? If you're going to argue with me, keep it in between me and you. Don't fucking go and try to seem cool in front of other people. And then another thing that caused a fallout between he and I is that he tried to dictate our mother's love life. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with you? You don't even live here anymore.
Yeah, you're the one going around.
Yeah, you're the one going around with man thongs, diddling everybody, cheating on your wife and all that shit. And you're gonna you're gonna project your fucking faults onto any potential suitors that our mom decides that she's a grown woman. It's not even protective shit. It's just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Stop being weird and lame.
Yeah, pot calling the kettle black situation right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, my brother fucking licks. He's weird, not in the cool way.
Yeah, man thongs.
The man thong situation's got to stop.
I'm sure it has.
I hope so, because nobody deserves that thong.
Oh yeah. Also, one day I walked into his room. This is gonna be the last thing I say. Mm-hmm. One day I walked into his room and he was ass naked, and for some he's not a fit dude. He's fitter now, but he was kind of soft back then. Mm-hmm. For some damned reason, his ass was the most muscly thing I've ever seen in my life. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime would have been like, damn, that's a muscly ass. I was like, what is this? A freaking Lojas and then the muscliest ass you would ever see in your freaking existence. It was bizarre.
Look, I'm grateful that I have never seen that ass. But since you told the final tale, I'm going to tell one where he was just a complete fucking ass.
Muscly ass?
Yeah, a complete muscly ass. It's shortly after I got out of lockup, and I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. Nobody's hiring me, all this jazz, right? And he suggests that I should go to a technical school, at which he was teaching. All right, that seems good. And the reason he suggested this is because I could get a pretty huge discount to go there, right? Now, he teaches there, hence the discount, right? Mm-hmm. So naturally, if somebody tells you, hey, look, why don't you do this? Because of this reason, because I'm there. What's your first instinct?
Gonna hook you up.
Yes.
Toilet style.
And that's going to mean what? That if you have any questions, who are you going to ask?
Yeah.
Him. So I naturally, when I am told this, when this information is passed on to me, I ask him a simple question. I don't even remember what the question was, but it was just a question to begin to understand what he was saying. Immediately fucking turns it on its head. Well, go figure it out yourself. And this, I said, why would you even bring this up if you're going to be a complete shit face about it?
Yeah.
Then he starts accusing me of everything. Well, it's your fault that this and that. Yes! Yes, I know that! I just spent 5 fucking years. You don't think I know that my situation is my fault? That doesn't even have to do with anything. It has to do with the fact that you presented this in the first place. And now I'm asking you a question and you're flipping the shit out about it. Then he goes on to accuse me of, not only is it my fault, but he says that he brings out this old, I must be 80-year-old line. What's that garbage you post on Facebook?
Oh, man.
Mind you, at the time, I hadn't even cracked into Facebook yet. I had literally just gotten back on. Hadn't really posted not much of anything.
Nathan.
And I was like, fuck this. I said, well, yeah, thanks for nothing. And the first thing I see that day when I get on Facebook is some stupid bullshit offensive humor that he posted. And that's coming from us.
Yeah.
Well, you know how offensive we are. This fucker is just like tastelessly offensive.
Yeah.
And again, I stress, this is coming from us, the guys that make videos about butts and shit eating.
One of our biggest series is Talking Turds.
Yes. So imagine how tasteless this shit is. And he posted it on his Facebook. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're the professional. And you're telling me that I'm posting shit that's causing my current situation on Facebook? So I sarcastically pointed that out to him. And ever since then, he has refused to talk to me. He blocked me on all social media.
Joto.
Just like what? Who does that, man? That's lame, man.
Loser, yeah.
Yeah, that's like epic levels of lame. Anyway, our brother fucking sucks.
Yeah, he's not great.
Again, clear this up. We love him, but he fucking sucks.
We love him. We don't like him.
Yeah, we don't like him. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a great example of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we hope that at least he stops wearing man thongs in the privacy of his own home.
Yeah.
Shit.
Putting him
Anyway,
in other people's hampers.
let us know what you think of our brother.
Tommy sucks.
You know, hit like, share, subscribe, those notification buttons. Who's a family member that pisses you off and why?
We're out.
Well, I picked my nose, so I'm assuming yes, we're out.